I am standing in my nice suit, waiting to start the mission. Welcome to Down. Welcome back to the Get Down to the Down with the Get Down. It's your boy Romeo.
And your boy Derek. That was like a really stupid intro.
He said down with the down to get down. I just like I literally had started. I said welcome. I didn't say welcome. I said it's down, and I just kept it pushing. This is a lesson in life, guys. If you ever stumbling through your words, continue to just push through.
Yeah, just continue to, eventually, even if you sound dumb, you will prevail.
You real prevail. It doesn't matter how dumb you sound.
As long as you finally get that part out, it's all worth it, my boy.
It's all worth it in the end. But so we have some updates have come through. As far as I don't know if you guys remember from the last conversation we had regarding Senorita Brick Lady, the lady I forgot her name. I know it's Ro. I forgot her last name,
Rose
but
something. I don't know.
mhm,
She's not important. Her name is Brick Lady.
yes. So yeah, the big lady. That's it. The big lady. The brick lady.
Why? I'm not gonna lie. Just a little segment. Sorry, people. You're standing behind me like you're trying to take ass.
I don't even see what's happening right now because it
You
says
don't see
I'm.
your person?
No, I'm not seeing my person. I have a black screen right now. It just says
I really
continuing.
I thought you could see your person because you're wearing what I would assume you would wear and you're standing behind me like a creep.
Oh no, my screen is black and it wouldn't let me say ready. So we're gonna. So it's gonna be. It's gonna be my reaction when I see him.
Oh, well, you're gonna look different now, but the color that you're wearing is definitely what you would wear in real life.
Real life. All right, Scooby
Yeah.
Doo.
I, I was hoping you didn't hear that. You were
Mr.
supposed to just let it happen.
Raggy, real life.
You were supposed to just let it happen. Oh, the
Oh,
embarrassment's making me cry.
the embarrassment. We gotta jump on the topic. We're off topic. We're off topic.
Uh,
So,
Brick
so yeah,
lady.
yeah. Brick lady. So, updates that came out, basically saying that she lied about getting hit with a brick. So she did, in fact. I think she did get hit. She did get hit, but it wasn't with a brick. It was with a water bottle, and it turns out she
Yeah.
was the one that initiated said violence
Mm.
in the situation, and the guy retaliated. They called it on. There was a police statement saying that
CCT.
yeah.
They also caught her on there too.
Oh damn, yeah. So she got yeah. They said that that's what the situation was, and then the guy who did it admitted to it, didn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
he
In
said what
in
happened.
video, in video, he was like, yeah, I she tried to hit me and then I threw a water bottle at her. I didn't throw like anything else. I didn't throw a brick or anything. It was just a water bottle.
Hmm.
But she attacked me first.
Yeah. So that that information has been revealed to the masses, and now and then there was a warrant out for her arrest, and then she was
She
talking
tried
about
to
yeah, tried to evade
escape.
that. She tried to got that shit on. Hold on.
I told you that's what you would wear.
Yep.
But yeah, she said she was going to turn herself in. She then evaded arrest and then she got arrested yesterday, I believe.
Hmm.
And then she's now out. They put her up for like $100,000 bond or something like that, and she got that paid by everybody says by consciously because he wanted to go for her so hard for
Man, oh,
whatever
bro,
reason.
he was riding her dick on that situation.
Absolutely. So
Hmm.
but yeah, like, and there were so many things that were coming out with saying that she was lying and all these other things, and he kept going in for her continuously, and even when the evidence was, the thing, and he came out with an apology too, and the thing that's funny about his apology, that shit
What,
fake as hell.
bro? It was like when I seen it, I was like, bro, tweaking.
Like he gave such a such a shitty apology. It was just ass, bro.
It was like, and it's funny when he was one of the. I know, I've never really paid attention to when people use big words to try to cover up
How
a
stupid they
situation.
are.
Yeah, try to cover how stupid they are. It's like, all right, cool. I clearly can tell you're an educated dude, you're an educated black dude who knows his stuff, but the terminology you're using is just basically to get away from to extend an apology that you could have done better at. And I seen in the comment section people were talking about saying to him in particular, saying that, oh, great apology. I was like, did you not? He didn't address everything that he did.
Yeah, and like the biggest problem I have with like people like him and stuff like that is like the apologies that they give, they're not actually apologies. They're just
Hmm.
I can't remember who said it, but I think King Lion said it best. Like those people and other people like that, they're not truly sorry, and you can tell that they're not truly sorry because if they were sorry, then they would have apologized way before they got heat for what they said.
Hmm.
The only reason that he's apologizing now is because of the amount of attention that he's getting from it because people are so upset, you know?
Hmm. People all
But
saying that now they pressing him on the situation. I just hope that they try to hold that they hold people like this more like accountable even afterwards, even after dropping a shitty apology. I've seen plenty of videos go off, but I haven't seen anyone other than like King Lions actually get traction. So I'm like, I want them to be able to
they're
like see
not.
that, and then
That
yeah.
the issue is they're not going to hold him accountable because of his audience and the people that he panders to. Like they wouldn't hold him accountable for that, you know?
It's because he's saying too many of the right things. He's saying big words on top of sounding like an educate, on top of being still trying to do for the people and bringing race into it. You bring race into it, that's reaching people's emotions. That's making people feel something, especially black people. When you can take advantage of stuff like that real quick, being like, oh well, I'm shooting him in his dick and nothing was happening.
Yeah, I don't know how I died. We need to open the door because we need to chase this guy. Oh, never mind. I'm outside. We need to get
Destroy,
outside.
destroy. I'm already outside.
All right.
Fuck. I'm.
No, you need to shoot that. You need to shoot that. There's a thing you got to shoot. Uh oh, well that sucks. My thing that I was using to fly, I can't use.
Mm.
Um,
But
but
yeah,
yeah, it's people like him that like you can tell like yeah their apology is fucking fake, and it's other people that are just going to accept it because they are fans. Like his apology was complete ass, and he doesn't believe what he's saying, and it's very easy to tell when people like him make those apologies.
uh huh. Yeah, because it's like in those moments, it's like, bro, you could have addressed the fact that
Come here.
why the reason that people were feeling some type of way, they were warranted. Like you need to not only he only apologized for the my statements were no, you need to apologize to the folks that you were also demonizing, and then the people that you were supporting, you probably need to bring light to the fact that they need to speak up as well.
Well, that was one of King Lion's, points too, is
Yeah.
like he still platforms the people that say like black men are bullet bags and black men should die and stuff like that. And those things are still platformed on his stuff. And those people were saying that during the time of this situation. And so he still platforms them and still has stuff for them, and not saying or addressing the issues with that, or addressing that all of these things that women were saying about black men. Um, and so until you address those things, like your apology is essentially fucking nothing,
Hmm.
other than just words to try to save your ass.
Really. Until you address the whole problem, then nothing you say can be better.
Right.
But yeah, it's all about taking accountability. And then it's like I seen a video I got a little second ago, as far as talking about them taking accountability, and it's like why can what he's like what his question was, why can women trying to paraphrase, but he's like why can women make content about holding men accountable or do stuff like that, but when it comes to men wanting to do the vice versa in those situations, well, asking women, because women always like they love to ask us to hold ourselves accountable, to hold each other accountable, but they're like, are you doing that for each other?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Where are you, bro?
Right here.
Oh.
If we get
You're
closer,
not
I
gonna
got a
be.
homing launcher.
It's not gonna work.
Ah.
It doesn't lock on to his thing for some
Mm.
reason. I don't know. They turned that function off in this. But yeah, I mean, like, well, dudes try to hold like other people try to hold dudes and women and stuff like that accountable more than like women do, which
Hmm.
ran that whole like situation as to why people were like, okay, you was running that whole like gender war type thing,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
and it was just dumb all around, but it is what it is.
Oh yeah, I hated that mess when he when it turned into and not only turned into a race debate, but then it turned into a whole gender war situation. It's like
Yeah, the
oh,
shit was kind of dumb.
it's like how do we even go to like no, we're not saying that we hate women.
Yeah, but for some reason they okay, whatever. That's fucking stupid. I don't know how many shots I landed on this thing, but it didn't work. You can get in. We gotta like
Hmm.
go on water or some shit. Um, for some reason, it's one of those things where like people like him, like when men say something against like what a woman says, because like
Hmm.
his audience is majority women.
Hmm.
Um, he has to like be like why it's also like the argument that people have where they say like I don't like a woman being Thor, right?
Hmm.
And so they give reasons as to why they don't want to see that. And they're like, do you think a woman can't do any of those things? And like, no, that's not the argument. That wasn't the reason I said what I said. Like, obviously, I
Hmm.
think a woman can do all of those things. And I think a woman could be really good at it. But at the same time, uh, female Thor is not what the fuck I want to see.
It's like is you looking for a certain story, then it's like cool. Like if I wanted the story that had that one, I might I just like that. I might not just like her story.
Right, like for instance, like in the MCU,
Hmm.
they're gonna have Silver Surfer be a female,
Hmm.
because there was a female Silver Surfer, but
Hmm.
the most famous one is the male one, and more people want that one. And the people that talk about how much they like the male Silver Surfer,
Hmm.
there are people that are like, well, can't a woman also be Silver Surfer? Absolutely, a woman can be Silver Surfer, but that's not the main one. That's not the one that everybody knows, and that's not the one that people care about seeing.
Yeah. It's basically the same thing with like with what do I say? We're having a black superhero. It's like instead, it's like, oh, why can't we like? I say, oh, there's a black Spider Man, there's a black Superman. Like, yeah, we love that Miles has done his own separate thing and stuff like that. But Miles is his own separate character. He's not. You're not just changing the swapping out the character just because you want that person in there.
Right, like
That
the
person
like the
actually did
situation
good.
with
Oh,
like
damn it.
it's similar. It's similar to the situation
Mm-hmm.
of Ariel, right? Like why
Mm-hmm.
people didn't want a black Ariel because one, that's not the character. That's not how the character has ever looked, and it's just kind of being done just to be done, not really for any other reason. But because you have an issue with it, they're like, well, one, you hate black women, and two, you hate black people, and you also hate black women. When that's not the case.
Now with that one, I will say if that I did hear that she did audition and she killed it and there were multiple auditions. So I'm like, if you get it, then you get it. But if you did just put her in that position just because she's black, a woman of color, then I'll be like, yeah, that's slaw. But
I mean, it
I'm
could
like as far as her
she can
talent wise,
audition.
she I will say she would take the cake on it.
I mean,
That was
sure, like
cold for
she
what
can
I just
audition.
did.
She can audition and she can act well and all these other things. All that
Hmm.
stuff can be perfectly fine, but it doesn't mean that she got it because she's good. Like you can still get something even if you're good, but that might not be what they're looking for. like how I think it was Spirit Airlines where they were like, we're not really focused too much on how good of a pilot they are.
Hmm.
We're more so focusing on diversity.
Yeah, and that's why I say if
And
if
so
that's what the
like
producers were focused on, if they like if that's what they clearly were focused on, then that. But as of what has been shown, it doesn't seem like it's clearly focused on that. Like some stuff, you know that's what it is. With this one, you like everybody know that girl sound 10 times better than a lot of people. Like she
I
do
don't know.
shit like
I didn't hear I didn't watch it because I
yeah,
didn't
her
want to. But
the girl's voice is beautiful. Like as far as the movie was okay to me.
okay, we're gonna die. We need to jump out.
Yeah, like the movie in general, I was like, okay, cool. I do prefer the animated version just because I like the animated version. But as far as like if you were to swap out her voice with Ariel's and like they made an animated version, they were like, hey, we need somebody to sing, and they were to do another one, it would sound pretty good. I would be saying they don't need to do another one; they need to do a whole new thing. But it like for like as far as her talent wise, the girl had the talent. Because we've
I mean,
seen
sure.
people who've been put in situations and they've been ass.
For like Disney movies?
Like Marvel movies. They'll just
I mean,
switch out.
sure,
Yeah.
like Marvel and stuff like that, sure. But like it, in her specific case, they said that they did want somebody like her. So that's the reason that a lot of people had that, thing. Because like the other thing is like I can understand if they just wanted somebody to be like they wanted to do like a Black Mermaid thing, but like the character is a specific character. So yeah, like you can be hella qualified to be Wolverine,
God
but
dang.
you can be like extremely qualified to be Wolverine, but I don't want a black guy to be Wolverine. I don't care how qualified you are at whatever you did, no matter how much you might be able to represent or look like Wolverine. None of that matters because that's not what Wolverine looks like.
You're not my Wolverine. Yes. Yeah, I
So
think
like,
a lot of people just genuinely don't care. And then a lot of people do like want stuff to be like how it looks on the screen. Like if it was made this way, like if you see Luke Cage, then you're not gonna want to see a white Luke Cage. You're like, it's a black dude from
but
Harlem. This is his backstory.
Jesus
If
Christ.
they were to switch him out, it would be weird.
I mean, sure, but like that's the thing, right? Like a lot of people it's a weird double standard because a
Hmm.
lot of people you can say a lot of people don't care, and that is true until you change a black character
Hmm.
to somebody that's like Asian.
Yeah, that's why
Then
like
people
if they
do
did Luke
care.
Cage, if
But
Luke Cage
like
was an Asian man.
like right, like people you would say like, well, people would care. But
Mhm.
then, well, what if we just got a really big buff uh Asian guy who is also bald who could play as Luke Cage? Then you'd be like, well, they were qualified. They came to the audition, and this is kind of the person they wanted to do. So why are you complaining?
Mhm.
It's one of those kind of things. So like, I think if there's a character that's already established, then whoever looks like that character should then be that character. I'm not going to expect a white woman to play whatever her name is in Princess and the Frog. Like, no, because that's not who she looks like. But so many people get called racist or
Mhm.
whatever for stuff like that.
Yeah.
But back to the brick lady person,
Yeah.
um, because we kind of went on that little
Oh,
bit.
we went
But
on a whole tangent.
yeah, but but similarly, right? Like when you criticize somebody like her or something like that, was very weird because there are multiple things that came out. Okay, we're gonna have to steal theirs now. We're just hopping from one to one. Um, all right, hop on in. When you criticized her because for some reason, I guess people. Damn, how did they? Okay, okay. Their tires are out too. Okay, we're gonna steal theirs. Um, when
You're crashing.
all right, when people looked at her and they're like, okay, well, she has a history of scamming, right?
Hmm.
If she has a history of scamming, why would I be surprised that she's scamming?
Like it's kind of like this is what you do. I already know what you kind of do, so
Right, like you're scamming people. Why would I believe that you're telling the truth? And like I get it, like if that did happen to her, it would be really fucked up. But it goes into that whole like believe all women thing, which I think is
hmm
like really stupid because you shouldn't do that in the first place. Like I get like, some women aren't listened to because of whatever reason, but we've ran into situations where there's so many women that have lied about things for absolutely no reason. Uh, I don't see why believe all women is a thing. And it ran into like this whole talking point of like how black women are like not believed more than like other women,
hmm
um, which has no like actual proof or data behind it other than like word of mouth. But um, so like because people were going against that, they're like, this is why it's so hard for black women already to be believed, and if anybody's supposed to believe it, it should be black men, but they're not because they're skeptical of her story because it made no sense.
it's the mob mentality. It's kind of like the when we were talking about taxes and finances of things being kind of superficial. Like, oh, it shouldn't really be a thing, but it is a thing. It's like
Yeah.
how it's when you have whenever we have the conversation about generational trauma that people pass down from their family members who actually did may have gone through something, and then now you perceive that you're going through something, even though you're technically not even dealing with anything, and so now you making a big deal out of everything,
I mean, yeah. Uh,
or your family hasn't dealt with anything, but it's kind of like the what we said about the I want to be involved. I'm a black person. I gotta
yeah.
feel what other black people feel.
Yeah, because I mean, like when you think about stuff like that, right? Like
hmm
there are because there are some people that talk about how generational trauma, blah blah blah. I don't really give a fuck, but there are a lot of people that are alive today that aren't descended from slaves whatsoever.
hmm
Also, their parents owned slaves, but because that's one not taught in school that black people own slaves, and two,
hmm
because they don't actually look in history, they just see their skin and they're like, well, because of my skin, clearly, uh, I was a descendant of a slave. Because of those reasons, then yeah, people are going to be like, I have generational trauma when you don't. You're literally a descendant of a slave owner. You're a terrible person. You're the person that you just talk about all the time.
He's like, you are the colonizer.
Right.
It's like, it's not, nah,
Uh,
you're not even the colonizer. You're the Uncle Tom. You're basically Uncle Ruckus.
oh no, no. There were black people that owned white people as slaves.
Oh, they own white people?
Hmm.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Um, they I forget what they were called, but they were like phenotypically like white people, and they were owned by black people. And this is in America, by the way.
And so, like, so this was where they like they retook over or something, or it was like
No,
they
they
bought
just
their own
legally owned
freedom.
them. No, they just legally owned them as slaves. This was only in one state though.
Mm, that state was
Um,
getting off. Folks, folks were like, I would have
well,
been a slave there.
because like they were phenotypically white, so like they would be considered white people today, and there are people that are descendants from them. I just can't remember what they were called. It's like umami or something like that. I don't know, it's something weird. But yeah, like black people owned them as slaves, treated them poorly. Like one of the worst slave owners in history that we know of is a black man who owned other black people. So,
I
like
mean, you got. I mean, if you're, I mean, that kind of makes sense. I'm not even gonna lie. That kind of makes sense because it is usually the not the person who created the system may be nasty, but a person who's built by the system, bred in the system, and becomes the system is typically worse.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like,
Mm,
when we think about it too, like, slavery was just kind of fucking normal. So like, yeah, like us, obviously we know the slavery is bad, but that's
Mm,
because we're in the future. To them,
mm.
slavery is something that they're just like, well, if you bought a slave already, you're gonna treat a slave like a slave because you bought the slave. So they're like, I mean, you're already property, so why would I treat you like anything less? I bought you, you know? Even though, like, today we're like, yeah, but that's wrong. So like, yeah, like I can fault those people for what they did, obviously, because that's wrong. But they're also stupid. So how much can I really fault them because they were already stupid to begin with?
I mean,
That's like their normal life.
which was crazy that that changes happen. So it's
Yeah,
like
like that. Like
so
that's
the
that's like their normal. Because like for example, right? If like
mm,
stepping on an ant is wrong today, is normal today, and then in the future, ants are like going extinct. So like you shouldn't step on ants, and so now we have to care about the fact that we're stepping on ants when we didn't at first because
mhm,
our normal life was like we see an ant, we step on ant, kind of thing.
mhm.
Like
It's kind of like with
yeah,
how
it
people feel about animals and stuff like that and animal rights, and they'd be like, oh,
right,
you shouldn't do these things or whatever. But back in the day, it didn't
like
matter.
right,
Mm,
like tusk for elephants.
mm,
Like, you're not supposed to do that anymore because we're told not to do that because it was
mm.
wrong. But like back in the day, like they didn't care about animals. So like they just did what they did because that's just what they knew. And so that's similarly to like how things were with like slavery. It's like if I bought somebody from another person that was also black that owned slaves, why
It's
would
cra-
then I be like, man, this person has rights when over there they didn't. And so that had to evolve into like, damn, I'm fucking up.
It's crazy that it was like literally like you have one household that's like cool, like back like when slavery was thriving during that time, and you had the Underground Railroad, and you had white folks that were helping during that time. It makes you think like, okay, cool. To us, that's common sense. Why would you see what's happening? And none of that looks like it's a good time at all for the other party or for you to either. It's like, all right, like you getting off on this, and it's nasty work,
Absolutely.
and it's like you hear right from wrong, and then it's like, how come two people in the same household can have two different who have very one dude can your wife or your husband could be like this ain't it. And then the wife could be like, "Well, you're a weak white man, and I need a good white man." I need, just get off of you. You just be like all of a sudden it's like, no, I need a man that's gonna beat him or do whatever. So and so. Or you have the complete opposite situation. The kids grow up and they're like, hey, like this is not it, but their parents are so engulfed in it that they disown them. Or they end up making them, or they be like, oh, since you're an N-word lover,
Yeah,
like,
I think a lot of it also came from like I think a lot of where people like changed their perspectives
mm,
kind of came from like because they would have like black people as like nannies and stuff,
mm,
and like clearly you have to trust your child with them. So like your child will eventually kind of like um imprint on that person, and you're like, okay,
mm,
well this person is a good person. They make my damn. They
the
make
heck?
the random dickhead. They make my child happy. These people aren't that bad. And then also like the fact that like I think more women could kind of associate with like black people more because uh they were also getting beat the fuck up. so so like you just like because like a random white woman she'll get beat up and she's like, well, at least I'm not black.
Facts. She's like, you
and,
know what?
and then it will get to a point where she's like, I'm getting beat up, they're getting beat up, neither of us should get beat up, this is wrong.
You know what? This makes so much sense why a lot of black male slaves were taken advantage of by like the white women because he has no power over the white woman.
Well,
But the
yeah,
white man clearly has all the power over her and is like telling her, shut the fuck up, Ruth, smack. And then but
bitch, my
all of us
chicken is cold.
but you see you see the porch boy out there chilling and you like, all right, come here.
I mean, yeah,
No, I can like
like psychological.
he can treat me like a real like I want to be treated.
Yeah, I mean, like psychologically, women that, well, not even just women, but people in general that are, how would I say, that are don't have power, they end
Hmm.
up seeking power from other people, So like, because that's one of the reasons that like, motherfuckers kill random small animals
Hmm.
because it's defenseless, you know. They hold all of the power, and so that's why they do what they do because they're weirdos. Um,
That
and
is
so
weird.
that's kind of where that little thing comes from. But the thing too is like that's why that's also the weird thing because of that that made some women for some reason feel as though they had to be like super strong, which is where
Hmm.
that whole like thing where dudes are mad at some women because they're not as submissive as they used to be, you know?
Hmm. And that kind of ties
Which
into the whole the Rose situation with the her getting hit, because in that moment when shit gets real, all of a sudden you want to scream and be like, "Oh, why didn't anybody do these things for me?" But you, when especially like, I hate when I see situations like that where you're the initial aggressor, but when the shit gets real for you, you wanna cry wolf, and it's like, no, you
I'm
did
not gonna
this.
lie, more like women do that a lot, and it's so irritating. Like they'll continuously like try to get on you and like assault you and do all these things, and the moment that you're like, I've had enough, and you hit them, you hear I'm gonna call my brother and all of these other people, and they're gonna yeah, beat your ass or kill
And that's
you
the dumb
because you
part
put your
too.
hands on me. And then those niggas will show up believing her for no reason, which makes no sense. And then they're like, you put your hands on my sister, well, she hit me, I don't care what she did to you, you're gonna die, blah.
That took
you
so many
know
shots for him to die. That's crazy.
oh yeah, that's like the main dude that we had to kill.
Mm.
They always take a long time for some reason.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it was like that's the I hate that part too because it reminds me of that that clip you seen of Blueface when he was talking to Kershaw Rock's family and they were like,
Oh,
"She the
and they're like, but
baby."
she, you just have to accept the fact that she assaults you and hits you. You just accept it. I mean, like she's a baby. Like you can't hit a woman. And he's just
she,
like, I mean, if she hit me, I'm a hit her.
bro, he looked like, bro, the way they were talking looked like she be beating up on them. Like she get mad at them, throw
Damn
a
near.
fit, whoop their ass, and then they be like, "Oh, but you gotta calm down, right? You gotta calm down. It's just like you just doing too much.
You're the baby. It's
You the
okay. I
baby."
understand.
I was like, I understand where they at. Like we gonna find them. We're like, oh, she feel like she type to come home and complain about somebody talking crazy to her and be like, he did this to me, and then they be like, he did what? It's a wrap.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with her. Yeah, with the brick lady. She put her
Mm-hmm.
hands on somebody and they threw something at her, and then she's blaming all the guys for sitting around and not do. We got to leave from here, right? She blames all of the guys around her for not doing anything
Mm-hmm.
when in fact, fuck you, bitch. I'm not gonna do anything. If I see a woman hit a guy
He
and then
shot
he
me
hits her
from the great
back.
beyond. I'm dead.
Oh, okay. If I see a woman hit a guy or throw something at a guy for no reason, unprovoked, and then um, he hits her back, I'm gonna be like, I mean, shit, that bitch shouldn't have hit him. Shouldn't hit him.
Nah,
Like
for real.
they
I'd be
gotta,
like, keep your hands to yourself. I can't do nothing for you.
yeah. Yeah, you got to keep your hands to yourself. I mean, because I mean, like it's and that was the other thing that people were like, why would like that's what some dudes were like, why would I get involved in that situation to begin with? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know her, right? And so that was another thing because for some reason, I don't understand what this was about, but which goes into the whole like submissive thing. It,
Mm-hmm.
during the situation, guys were like I would step in if it was my mother or my sister or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know her and I don't care about her, so I'm not gonna step in. And so women were like, but men were supposed to be protectors and providers. Where did that go? And guys would be like, yeah, I do that for the people that I love that are in my life, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So you want people to
And
play
what?
roles, but then you don't like those. But those roles aren't the ones you wanna apply to yourself.
Yeah, and so and guys were like, we do that for the women that are in our lives. We don't just do that for random women. But if you
Hmm.
wanted us to do that for all women for whatever reason, you can't even say that because you're not submissive or anything like that, you know.
Hmm.
And so women were like, why would I have to be submissive in order for you to protect me? And they're like, because that's what women are supposed to do,
Because it's
bitch.
like the end of the day, why do I? Why it's like why am I? You expect me to protect you because I'm a man, but you don't expect you to be be that type of woman. But you expect me to lay my life down because I'm a man. I don't even know you personally. Like I was like, from a personal standpoint, if I was in a situation, everybody is coulda, shoulda, woulda. You could say what you would have done if like you could say what you would have done in any situation, but you never know what you would have done in the moment if you would have seen somebody get smacked hard as hell with a water bottle in front of you because after she just hit him, you'd be like, damn, that's crazy. You probably would have just reacted and been like, that's tough.
Yeah, I mean,
Because if especially if you would have seen somebody else get hit first, but if you would have seen like him grab a brick, I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10 he would have been like, first of all, I don't want to get involved. If you got a brick in your hand, that's a little aggressive. Or you at least would have somebody would have been like, hey, before he do something, because that's 9 times out of 10 that's what most people at least try to do before a guy's about to retaliate. Is to just try to calm him down because you know what's coming behind it is some heat.
yeah, because like the thing too, right? Like when you, well, that's what a lot of people were saying too. Like if he did hit her with a brick and she's a woman, what the fuck do you think he's gonna do to a man? You know, he
Grab a
goes,
cinder
he
block.
goes, he goes shoot me. At least you got hit with a brick. Yeah, your face might be a little messed up, but at least you got hit with a brick. He gonna shoot me.
Oh, bro, that's the
You
thing
know.
we didn't even address about that. The lie that she said. We've been talking so much about everybody else and their reactions, like from do old boy that old boy that be pandering to people just really just not taking accountability. But in from her situation in general, it's just generally crazy how she ran with that narrative because she knew at the end of the day if she would have told the real story, it wouldn't have flown. Like it may have turned back on her actually. He could have countersued for her for him for getting for and said it was self defense. But
I
like
mean,
in it, yeah.
like he has no charges. Like he's off scot free. You know.
Oh no, he's
So
good.
like
But I was talking about like if he was a petty dude. If you're
I'm
like
sure, and he still has the possibility of doing that, which is the
hmm
funny thing. He can still sue her for assault or whatever. But I mean, at this point, I don't really think he just, gives a fuck. Which,
hmm
hey, it is what it is. But like, she used
He's like, I
what
can't
she
speak for
knew.
myself. I might,
Oh, I'll ruin her fucking life. I don't give a fuck. I'm petty
going
man over
crazy.
here. That however much she got from that GoFundMe, that shit going straight in my wallet and more.
hmm Which is like I was like if you like you knew, and then that's the part that kind of pissed me off about the people that were pandering to the situation. That they were just like, but she still got hit, bitch. She hit first. That's the part that was pissing me off so much was that they were like, but she still got hit. She still got hit. Like she shouldn't have got hit. What would you do if you got hit? Like what would you like? What would I really want to see those people in those reactions?
Oh yeah, I mean, because like it's really dumb because yeah, like she got it. What are you doing?
Supposed to go to the
Yeah, I'll mark it. You just got to
okay,
pull out of here first.
okay.
Um, like sure, she got hit, but at the same time, I'm not a sexist. If a bitch wants to fight a man, let her fight a man. Now, I'm not a sexist individual. Some of you might be sexist and might think that a woman can't do something that a man can do, but I'm not. If you want to lay your hands on a man, then that's just gonna happen.
Were you able to find the coordinates?
It's not popped up yet.
Ah,
I think I might need to. Oh, never mind. It came up. I got it.
okay. But hell yeah, it's like if you in those situations, it goes to show you that sometimes you need to believe people for who they are. Like if people are showing their
Nine times out of
colors,
10, if she's scammed somebody, if she scammed people, I don't know how many times. 9 times out of 10, she's scamming them this time. Now, hey, this might have been a situation where she wasn't, but hey, it is what it is.
it is what it
And
is.
the you see the yacht straight ahead.
Hmm.
All right, is that the yacht?
I don't think
No,
that's the.
that's somebody else's yacht. We got to go around
Yeah.
the this, but but I don't know, the whole thing with like men and women. It's just annoying, and like it's really weird because it's only with black men and women that I ever hear this from. Like I don't hear it from anybody else other than black men and black women arguing against
Hmm.
each other about something that's stupid, which is why they have the whole thing about like the passport bros and stuff like that, like wanting
Hmm.
to leave because of like black women here are just difficult, and they don't want to be submissive, and they just want to be dickheads and want to act like dudes. I want to go somewhere where the women act like real women type thing.
It's like we the I feel like everybody low key looks at their issues like how we look at our issues in the black community. I feel like we be pissed off about the shit that we be talking about. Like this is the same old. And I feel like white people have their own versions, Asian people have their own versions. Everybody has their own version of just fuck shit that they're like, we need to be better than this, and this is all we talk about. Like with
I
I guess the
mean,
white folks would be
not
like Kim
not
Kardashian and
necessarily.
them would be on their list of stuff that they that's their version of nut shit.
I mean, not necessarily, because I mean, like some of it is like a cultural thing. That's why like a lot of like the passport bro dudes, like they go to like Asian countries, because
Hmm.
like in those Asian countries, like Asian women are more what they would consider like more of a woman, and do more womanly things because that's their
Mm.
culture. It's a part of their culture. So like it makes sense if that's what you're looking for that you would go for that.
Yeah.
But because that's what they kind of look for, that's also what makes people for some reason look at them like some people look at them like they're predators. I don't get that. Some people look at them weird for it's this one, by the way.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Some people just look at them strangely for wanting that, which is weird. I mean, like if you if it, like I have no problem with like a passport, bro. Like if you want a particular type of woman, because you don't see that here as a possibility, then go for what you want. Like,
Oh yeah.
I have no issue with it. I mean, I don't, I don't really date black women like that, but I've never just had like an issue.
Oh yeah.
We can just be loud here. We don't have to sneak around.
Oh, okay.
But like, I've never just had like an issue with dating black women. I just don't do it.
I think it's with some situations it just depends on environment, depends on who's around, depends on interactions. We've already talked about your interactions and the stuff in the past and why your interactions make sense for why your preferences are the way they are. Like if you didn't go through certain things that you went through, then your preferences may completely be different, or you wouldn't even have necessarily have a preference.
Well, I mean, my preferences aren't necessarily based off of that because like what most people like try to argue, which I think is very strange, is like black people for some reason like presume that uh the first woman that you were attracted to was a black woman if you're a black guy, and that was never my case, right? So
Hmm.
like that's not an argument that can be used for me because the first woman that I was ever attracted to was not black, and because she's not black, then like the argument makes no sense. But um and then there are the guys that get rejected a lot by black women, and then they're just like bitter towards them. That's a possibility. It doesn't happen a lot, I don't think, but
Mm-mm.
it's a possibility. But
Well,
a
I feel
lot
like
of it
yeah,
just
if you
comes
don't fit
from.
into the category, I can see that if you're going after the stereotypical, like you know that this person is not on the same wavelength. Not even gonna say looks because you can get who you want, But like if this person genuinely is just not interested in the stuff that you're interested in, like nothing about y'all's match would make sense. Then
Yeah.
you're shooting in the air. You're shooting at a missing target, and it's kind of like you just wasting your time. But like if you know, like
Mhm.
it's a difference if you just been in a bad situation.
Well, because like it's one of those like kind of things where like, and this happens to men and women, and this
Mm.
is like regardless of race. Um, you're so stuck on what you find to be
That was
really
so strong.
attractive. Yeah, no. You're so stuck on like what you find to be like really attractive or
Hmm.
something like that. And that might not be the type of woman that's into you. Like you might be
Hmm.
into that type of woman, but that type of woman is not into you. And because that type of woman isn't into you, you're gonna keep running or like that type of man does not fit you. That's why the whole saying of like pick better men. Because
Yeah.
yeah, like um if a guy is a dickhead and you're like all these guys are dickheads. I don't know why it's because that's the only people that you attract because you allow yourself to be attracted to them and
Hmm.
you are weak to that sort of person for some reason. But if that's the type of person that you attract, then that's the type of person you'll bring. Just like how if you are attracted to a particular type of woman, or if you're surrounded by women that are like that, and you're like, well, I like anime, and these women are like, we think anime is fucking stupid. I wouldn't expect to be with a woman that doesn't like anime
Hmm.
because we're not compatible. Like her and I are not going to enjoy some of the same things.
No, not at all. At that point, it's good. It's y'all can kick it and do whatever, have a fun
Yeah,
time if you want to do
like
something like that.
there's so many women that I I would never be with, but I would always be cool with because yeah, we don't like the same things whatsoever. But you're cool to hang out with.
Hmm.
I would never date you. We enjoy two of the same different things. Um, I mean, two different things, not two of the same things. Two
Hmm.
different things. Um, but that's because I know that, and there's so many dudes that ignore that. It's not even that they know that that doesn't work. They just choose to ignore it because she's black. And like the
Hmm.
dudes that only date black women because they're black, it really is kind of weird too. Because like she has to have no personality for you.
You
She
have to
just has
fit
to
the.
be black.
I mean, it kind of it limits your criteria. It's like, oh yeah, there are probably millions, billions of black people in the world, but that does limit your area, especially if you like, hey, I was like, hey, you went to, especially if you go to a school and then your school is not even predominantly black,
Well, I mean, it's not even like
or you get into the
it's
world and all the fields you're in aren't really, you're not really giving yourself an advantage.
yeah, because I mean, like there are some dudes that are like, and there are also some women that are like this too, that they don't care about the person's like personality or anything about that person. The only thing they care about is the amount of melanin within that person. And if they have the particular amount that they're looking for, then they're good. If not, then they'll be like, I can't be with you. I died.
Oh,
I should have hid for some reason. I don't know why I didn't hide. Oh, honestly, if you feel like dying, you can, because I'm just gonna leave the area on this thing.
ah, well, you do what you do. I am low key trying to get up. I'm gonna see if I can get in the helicopter.
Okay.
And I did it. And will they kill me beforehand? We shall see.
They might shoot at you, but I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Oh,
But what was the argument that you were talking about?
oh yeah, I guess I ended off with this one. So I was recently down in Memphis and kicked it. Had came come down for a baby shower, and I was kicking. And I ended up visiting my mom and my cousin were in town at the time, and they were going on talking about we're talking about the passport bros, and it was a weird situation as far as my mom was on was more on the wave of going against the passport boys being on weirdo energy and how these boys nowadays want when it came to submissive energy, when you use the word submissive, it kind of gives off a scary connotation. Now, like from what she explained with them because it was a lot. It's recently a lot of the passport bros got killed. I guess they're catching on to these boys going over there and trying to hook up with the women and thinking that I guess shit gonna be sweet for them. And now they're starting to catch these guys up that are going overseas because a lot of them like to get remote jobs and then they'll just work over there and just have start a whole new life over there because they are trying to find love in that world. But now I guess
Hmm.
they're starting to take advantage of the people taking advantage of that.
Yeah. Can you pick me up, by the way, on
Yes,
your helicopter? I'm gonna be like
yes.
right here.
But yeah, I was like, but when they but the whole argument was over the word submissive. So it was two different perspectives, one from a traditional standpoint and a marriage standpoint, and one from a standpoint of like it seemed like fear. One was like you can be submissive and happy and do these things, and it doesn't mean that you don't have a voice. And the other one is coming from a standpoint of like I know I don't have a voice. The way like nowadays is not what they mean when they're saying these things.
Hmm. I mean, being submissive, what I've always understood it to be for pretty much everybody, is just like letting a man do his man role and a woman do like a woman's role.
Hmm.
And allowing a man to be a man, and that's pretty much it. Like it has nothing to do with like, you know, you not having a voice or anything like that, or voicing your opinion or something like that. Like it has the majority to do with like just letting a dude, like letting a man have his, it's essentially just wanting traditional men and women roles within a relationship or marriage or whatever. That's all that I've understood it to be for most dudes.
Uh,
But because that's what uh because that's what most of them want, and because that's what they say or whatever, due to that reason, it makes a lot of women feel as though for whatever reason that they don't want a woman to talk, just to shut up and, be seen and not heard type thing.
and then I just kind of I feel like I feel like the people who are on those extreme levels are the ones who are just flooding their minds with negativity of the Western world, like oh these modern women. Like when we had those conversations about modern women and what we see on social, and it's
Go
like
towards the purple
okay,
icon.
I was like I feel like when people get into those situations, those icky situations, I feel like that's when you get the negativity coming in of like this is why I can't find it because of this.
A lot of that has to do with, which is the reason that I have no problem with the passport bros. I just think they
Am
take
I at
it
a park on
to,
top of this?
you are, but I don't know if we can go inside if you do. Like, I don't know if I can bring us both inside, but you can try it real quick.
Yeah.
Um, the reason that's the reason I don't have an issue with the passport bros is because I completely understand wanting to leave and go find something that works for you. I
Hmm.
just wouldn't like I would just, maybe go to the next block over, but not like a whole nother country.
it's like yeah, I'm gonna
So
just go over, go to a different city. Nah.
yeah, like go to another city, like because like a lot of these men, like they run into the situation they run into because of the city that they live in, and that's all the women that live there. But like
Hmm.
if you got, because it's the same thing that we would say for women that are in whatever situation,
Hmm.
because the environment that they're in, that's why they attract them and that they attract. But if you change your environment, then you bring in different people. It's the same thing for the passport bros. It's the same concept. It's the same
Hmm.
everything. It's
Hmm.
just, to me, they do it a little bit extra because they go to a whole nother fucking country. Because you can find the woman that you want here. You can find the woman that you want here, but you just have
Hmm.
to look for it. Now, their way is much easier because whereas here you might have to look for a woman like that, over there it's an abundance of women that are like that.
Hmm.
So it's less work, but it's still like the
And when
same
you
concept, which is why I've never understood why people have so much of an issue with it, apart from just because they're told to have an issue.
it's because everybody's limited their playing field. Those when you expand your playing field and you go to other places, or you give the perception that you're expanding your playing field, but in reality You may just be simple minded in those
No,
situations.
no,
Like
no.
me,
It's
not.
it's like the same. It's like the same argument like with guys with a podcast, right?
Mm,
Because there are dickheads that have podcasts that are guys. It's a negative connotation for women to see a guy that has a podcast. You know what I'm saying?
hmm.
So like they automatically, if dudes have a podcast, they automatically assume that they are talking shit about women and
Right.
telling dudes to go be hoes and stuff like that. When that's not the case, but that's because they don't take the time to know that. And so that
Oh,
happens a
I'm
lot
dead.
with.
So the time. So I'm not even trying to cut you off. I'm sorry, but I've never. I just looked up at the screen. We are at 55 minutes.
Oh,
We are at 55 minutes, and we actually it is counting down the time. We only have 5 minutes left before it cuts down, before it shuts down. So I was like, if you wanted to say your final points, or if you want to just let this time run to the end, to the last five.
I mean, honestly, there wasn't really too much left to say. I mean, it's really just, if you want to go and just date whoever you want. Also, don't believe everything you hear. People lie all the time. If somebody shows you that they're a scammer, they're more than likely still going to be a scammer. Um, and I hope that the brick lady finds the justice that she deserves when she's in prison. um,
Yeah.
but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. For sure, for sure. Well, yeah. As far as everything, everybody, don't take everything at face value. Always, in situations before you react, don't be the first one to react. Really, just see the details of the situation and kind of look at it before you react. Because I know at the end of the day, I get it. I can't speak for Derek, but I can speak for myself. I get it when you want to personally, um, feel attacked in those moments. Be like, you hear something sound so crazy that you want to believe it. You're like, wow, that's crazy. I can't believe something like this happened to one of our people. I get that,
Nope,
but
not like that at all.
yeah, he's not like
I
that at all.
yeah, I think people that react like that are stupid, and I think that the most important thing is finding the full context of the situation before fully speaking on something because then you look
Hmm.
stupid.
You gotta debunk these situations before you start reacting. Like some things are warranted, some things are crazy. But at the end of the day, it's plenty of situations on the if you were to put the shoes on the opposite gender, opposite person, whoever it is, you wouldn't react that way towards that person. So if you won't
Hmm.
react that way towards that person, then when it happens to you or happens to someone else, don't expect everyone else to react in the same way, especially if you see that someone has a reputation. Don't like a reputation. Like everybody wants to say erase reputation, but reputation is still important. It like is important because it gives reference. It gives reference. It gives something to go off of. It gives consistency. And in the end of the day, you get consequences that you dealt with, and people just you gotta sit there and take that. And when things like this happen, we just had these are learning lessons because you don't want to be in those positions, and I don't want to see any of our followers in these positions.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about y'all in these positions or dealing with dumb stuff or playing that because y'all are better than that. We're all better than that. So yeah, that's what I pretty much got to say on the situation.
All right, all right.
All
Let's
right,
end it off.
all right. We are at 58 minutes. Appreciate y'all coming through to another installment. We had a very long episode this time, but we do appreciate y'all. If y'all made it all the way to the end of the episode. Follow us on all social media platforms. Comment if you guys like this or the format we've been doing, especially with the gameplays. It's kind of have like a little vibe. Y'all just kicking it with us when we're just chilling. Kind of see how that is. And if you guys have any things you want us to play or topics you want us to cover, hit us in that section below. Appreciate y'all sliding. Go ahead, like, share.
And if you're down with the get down, go ahead and subscribe.